Hello YouTubers, gamers, and random surfers of the interwebs. My name is Kyle and I'm your game tech guy. Today we're going to be talking about next-gen consoles. PS4 versus Xbox One versus the Wii U. Now that E3 is over and everything has been revealed, there's lots of questions going on, the dust has settled, and all of the fanboys have finally crawled back in their holes and posted their flags until the release date. But I'm going to do a quick rundown of all the pros and cons of each of the consoles and which one you might want to be purchasing. Alrighty, first we're going to start with the Wii U, only because I don't put this console necessarily in the same competition as the PS4 and the Xbox One, although it is a tiny contender, so we're going to take a look at it. Nintendo is one of those people who never lose a console war, and the reason is they bring the games that people want. Sure, the console's not great, the graphics always aren't the best, and the little gimmicky controllers can always get on people's nerves. But at E3 this year, they spouted off great names like New Super Mario Bros., Mario Kart 8, and of course, Super Smash Bros. Starring none other than Mega Man. That definitely got all the fans excited, and I don't know about you guys, but I'll easily drop down the money just to be able to play those titles. Nintendo is definitely somebody we won't be comparing with Sony and Microsoft's new consoles, but definitely keep a radar on them, and I suggest for the lower price point, they're a console to purchase. Alright, so next we're going to start with the Sony PlayStation 4. Now, this was my most anticipated console, and before you leave 8,000 hate comments below, please watch the rest of the video and watch me compare both the PS4 and the Xbox One. But first we're going to start with some great benefits of this console. First of all, the one that is the biggest controversy is you don't have to be online all the time, or check in every 24 hours, which Microsoft is making you do. You also get actual disc-based gaming, so you can let your friends or family members take the actual disc and play it on their console. Now, this is great and everything, but if you let someone borrow it, unfortunately you can't play it, but we'll talk more about that later. Also, their online service is now a paid service, which me personally love. Free PlayStation Network to me was fine, and I enjoyed that I didn't have to pay for the few games I actually used online on the PlayStation service, but I felt like it was extremely lacking compared to Xbox Live, even for the $60 a year. Now, PlayStation 4 also went into E3 with my anticipation set very high because of the unveiling of the console, but they failed to just do what they needed to do at E3 in my opinion, which seems to be different from everyone else on the internet. The thing is, they brought more games, but I'm also interested in the operating system, which essentially seems to be like a made-over PS3 with better graphics. That's not good enough for me as a gamer. It's next gen and I want something new and innovative. Now, I'll have to wait and see exactly what they do, because things like the share button, which they did show, seem really exciting, but I can't wait to see how we use it. Next, we're going to move on to the Xbox One, talk about those benefits, then we'll do a comparison so you can understand my reasoning for what I'm thinking here. Alright, so now we're going to talk about Microsoft's Xbox One, and let me be the first to say they do a horrible job at marketing. Not only do people not know the features of their console, but they think the features they're adding are just horrible. Also, when they revealed the Xbox One, the highlight was the Halo TV show, which is pretty sad for a gaming console. But, real quick, let me touch on some positives, and we'll go into details in the comparison video. First of all, I'm really excited for the new games. Seeing things like Rise and Titanfall really piqued my interest, and I can't wait to try those games out. Also, their Family Share Xbox Live service looks really cool, and like I said, we'll go into more detail on that in a moment. And dare I say it, but the 24-hour check-in or always online may have some great benefits, so we'll explain those in comparison of the two. Now, the Xbox One has some pretty powerful services, so let's see how they're going to hold up to the PlayStation 4. Alrighty, first issue we're going to talk about, the always online or 24-hour check-in. Now, I'll be the first to agree with people that not everyone has availability to internet, and I understand that. So for them, I get why they hate Xbox and why the PS4 is their system of choice. You want to play games. So, let's talk about the great benefits of always online or 24-hour check-in. The first one, which developers have now spoken about, is that they will have more control over their games, especially in terms of security, which means less hackers and aimbots for the people like me who love those first-person shooters. So, that'll make my gameplay experience a lot better. Looking at you, Borderlands. Secondly, a lot of the debate going around is about the RAM of the console and which one's going to look better. Now, when you compare them side by side, they both run 8 gigs of RAM, but Microsoft's using DDR3, while Sony is using DDR5. People don't always understand that, but that means the PlayStation 4 has the potential to look much better. Another thing Microsoft fails to tell everyone is their cloud service, unlike the Gaikai that Sony is using, is cloud computing. So those RAM that don't exist and are being used up by their bigger operating system gets covered by cloud computing, so they can actually run faster processing as long as you're connected to the internet than the PlayStation 4 can. So there's some benefits of that, but also I understand the con. If you don't have internet, that could be horribly bad. So let's move on to the next thing. And games. This is the big one, as we are gamers. So this is where Microsoft stands out a little bit for me, because Sony showed some great titles, but I'm not interested in sequels. I don't care much about the new Halo, Gears of War, Infamous, or Killzone for that matter. I will definitely play them, but I want some new IPs. And Titanfall, as a first-person shooter lover, seemed extraordinary to me. Also, Rise Son of Rome looks really great. It just seems PlayStation 4's exclusive didn't quite hold up to what Microsoft's showing as far as new IPs. Also, things like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15, which are the reason I pre-ordered the PS4 in the first place, hours later were mentioned to be available also on Xbox One, which I think hurts Sony a little bit. So in this category, Microsoft definitely has me. And game sharing. Here's a big controversy as well, and the issue is with the PS4, I can take my disc to anyone I want, hand it to them, and they can play. It is simply that easy. The downfall, I can't play it when that happens. Here's another reason that the connectivity of the internet is a big win. All of Microsoft's games are going to be digital. If you buy the disc, it still has to download to your hard drive. But when you connect online, you can create up to 10 people to be in your Xbox Live family. The good thing about that is me, as the owner of my Xbox Live account, and my 10 family members have full access to every game I own. That is, as long as they are my friend for 30 days. So, me and one of those other people can play any game that I own. For instance, if I own Battlefield 4 and I really want my friend Mike to try it, he doesn't have to purchase it first to do so. He's part of my family, me and him can play. Now, while me and him are playing, if my friend Caleb goes to jump on, unfortunately he won't be able to. It's only for the original owner and one Xbox Live family member at a time. Now, be aware this family member could be any of your friends or someone you just meet on the internet out of state. It's really a great feature in my opinion. But once again, that internet is required to do so. And now we're going to talk about those little accessories no one cares about. This generation, unfortunately, we have to. PlayStation 4 has now put the Move inside of their controller. Now, this isn't a huge deal because developers can just not even care and put that kind of feature in their game. But Microsoft made a totally different decision, which I really cannot stand. The Kinect 2.0 is required to be plugged into your console for it to power on. Now, the good news is the motion tracking, according to the videos that we saw at the unveiling and that I've read about online, sounds like it is fantastic. But it worries some people because you always have a camera and a speaker on in your house all the time. Microsoft has confirmed that this will not function at all until you say Xbox One on and the system powers on. It only listens and records when you're talking to it. Now, the voice detection always seems really cool to me, and I hope it works really well with games and with the dashboard, but it is a little creepy knowing that camera is there and can be turned on whenever you want it to be. I know a lot of people are going to throw tape over those things, which is fine with me. I just wish I didn't have to have it plugged in all the time. It just seems like one more bulky thing that's going to be sitting on my TV stand. Alright, well that's my thought on things. And as you see, there's pros and cons to both systems. And for me, I'm more excited about the Xbox One as of right now. The Kinect thing is the most disappointing part to me, but I think the console has the most potential. It has some great games and could definitely be that gaming console we've all been waiting for to take us into the future. Unfortunately, with potential, it can also go the other way. If Microsoft messes things up, they could ruin their next generation of console and lose tons of money off of it. Well, that's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and also put the time where you heard my little gamer shout out if you heard it as well. Alright, well if nothing crazy happens, I will talk to you next week, so game on.